So to show the presence of starch, we told that starch is the, if there is a starch, it means that leaf has undergone photosynthesis. But how do we show that there is starch in the leaf where it has undergone photosynthesis? We are going to perform an activity. In this activity, what we are going to do is we are taking the two pots. So part 1 and part 2. So these two pots are placed in, one is placed in the light, another is placed in the dark. So part 1 is placed in the light and part 2 is placed in the dark. So for how long? They are placed for 72 hours, which means 3 days. So for 3 days, one is kept in the sunshine, another one is kept in the dark continuously. So by this what happens is, the one which is present in the, you can guess here, the one which is present in the sunshine, which is getting the sunshine, it can do the photosynthesis because it is getting the light energy, and it is also having the carbon dioxide around, and it is getting the water. So the plant is able to make the photosynthesis, and whatever the photosynthesis product is, carbohydrate, it will be stored in the form of starch. So this plant will have more amount of starch. On the other side, if we keep the plant in the dark and we are not providing the light energy, no light energy, so this light energy is stopped. So when there is no light energy, the plant cannot make their own food even in presence of carbon dioxide and water. Though there is carbon dioxide around, though there is water around, but they cannot make the photosynthesis because they do not have light energy. So now when they do not have light energy, what happens is, whatever the food already that they have in them, they will be utilizing that. Means the, we told that starch is a storage food, means starch is a reserved food material. So all the reserved food materials are utilized by the plant. They are utilized the plant whenever they don't have food material. Since they are not doing the photosynthesis, all the starch present inside the leaf, it will be distributed for the plant for their energy purpose. So that's how all the energy will be consumed here. So there is no more starch left after 3 days. But where on the other side, it has a lot of starch because it is continuously doing the photosynthesis. Coming to the, we are going to test the starch, whether they are having the starch, if they are having, which of these plants are having the starch. By now you might have come to know that which of these have the starch. Okay, so to perform the activity of the starch, we need certain things, like we need a, there is a burning flask, there is a Bunsen burner, and this is a tripod stand, and this is a beaker, and we are needing the water, and also we are needing the alcohol, some alcohol, and also we need some amount of iodine. So using these, we are going to perform this activity. So what we are going to do is, we are plucking out the leaf. We are taking one leaf from here and one leaf from here. We are plucking out either leaf of them, and we are putting them in the boiling water. So as we put them in the boiling water, what happens is, this boiling water is killing all the cells of the plant. So we are boiling it, and once it is reaching the boiling point, it is becoming, once it is boiling, this leaf will be killed, and later on this leaf is further transferred to the transferred inside the alcohol. So this tube is having the alcohol, and in this tube we are placing the leaf, and we are placing this alcohol inside the water bath, and we are boiling further. So in this process what happens is, the leaf which is having the color, the green color of the leaf, so we know how the leaf is green in color. So leaves are green in color because they are having chlorophyll. So all the chlorophyll will be vanished away. All the chlorophyll will be taken out from the leaf. So it is entering inside the alcohol. So when the leaf, all the chlorophyll is taken away from the leaf becomes faded. The leaf becomes colorless. So just like this, the leaf is decolorized, means they do not have any color now. So at this point, we are going to wash this leaf, and we are going to use iodine to detect whether there is starch in the leaf or not. Okay, so after this we are processing it for the iodine test. So we are taking the leaf, and we are placing it in a petri dish, and we are giving the iodine. So when we give iodine, wherever there is starch, it turns into blue color, wherever there is no starch, it turns out into be the same color, it remains in the same color. So now from these two leaves, if we have taken these two leaves, which of the leaf is undergoing the photosynthesis, that only that plant is going to produce the starch. So number one part is producing the starch because it has undergone the photosynthesis. So I hope you understood this activity, and this activity tells us that starch is present in the leaf where it has undergone the photosynthesis. So here this test is showing that iodine test shows that wherever there is starch, it is showing the presence. So if you see here in the observation, you can see here that the leaf that is coming from part number 2, so it will be like this. Wherever in the part 2 we know it was placed inside the dark room. So when we are testing for the starch, we don't find any color here. When we don't find any blue color here, so we can say that this leaf has no starch, which means that this leaf has not undergone the photosynthesis. And why it has not undergone photosynthesis? Because there was no sunlight here, because it was placed inside the dark. That's why it could not make the photosynthesis. So this experiment clearly tells us that plants require the sunlight, they require light energy for making the photosynthesis. Okay. On the other hand, from the part 1, which was kept in the light continuously, so this leaf shows clear distinct difference that it is completely blue and it is providing lot of starch in this. So if there is lot of starch here, it can be identified by the blue coloration. So we can say that this leaf has undergone lot of photosynthesis and it is producing lot of starch, and which can be evident from this blue color. Okay, so this leaf was taken from the part 1. So we told that part 1 was placed inside the it was placed in the under the light, so that they can produce lot of photosynthesis and they can store in the form of starch, and that we are able to see in this blue color. Okay, so we are clear up to here, and then we have identified that plants are able to produce the starch, plants are able to do the photosynthesis only in the presence of sunlight. So what if we are reverting the conditions? Suppose we are if we are changing the conditions, the plant which was in the dark, we are placing this plant again into the light. We are transferring this plant into the light and we are placing this for 3 days, and then if we are testing for the starch, you can guess the result. We can find the leaf blue, and this leaf which is turning blue will represent that plant has undergone photosynthesis and it has produced the starch, and the starch we can find in the form of blue color. So what do we conclude from this? We can conclude that leaves are able to synthesize their own food in the presence of light. So they need light to make their food. Next one is, so plants, they need light for the photosynthesis. In the dark, they are not able to do photosynthesis. In the dark, they cannot make the photosynthesis. In the dark, they just utilize the reserved food material. So in the first picture, part 1, we told in part 2, when we kept it in the dark, whatever the starch which was already present inside the leaf, it will all be utilized here. So they cannot undergo any more photosynthesis. They are only utilizing the same reserved food material. And the chlorophyll, the green compound present inside the leaf, the chlorophyll which is present in the leaf are absorbing the sunlight energy. They are absorbing the sunlight to make the photosynthesis, and plants store food in the form of starch. So that's what we have done, starch test, to conclude that whether they have done the photosynthesis or not. So I hope this activity is clear. This activity showed us that the parts which are kept in the light and dark, one of them is divided. One of them could not do photosynthesis, another was able to do photosynthesis. And when we did the starch test, we found that the plant which was kept in the light was able to do photosynthesis, and the part which was kept in the dark was not able to do photosynthesis. That's why the one which is kept in the light was able to produce lot of starch because it has undergone photosynthesis, and the one which is kept in the dark was not able to produce the starch because it was not able to do photosynthesis, right? So I hope you are clear up to here. So what about the plants having the leaf which are not green? Okay, so just imagine what would be the do they perform the photosynthesis or do they not perform the photosynthesis? Okay, so this question is left for you for the homework. So thank you very much. I hope you are able to understand, and if you have any doubts, don't hesitate to ask here.